Nothing like jibing a gaffer in a stiff breeze. Start off by hauling in on the main sheet so the boom doesn't go flying across the center line. And as I do this, I want to take up on the lee backstay, which is soon to become my windward and taut backstay. And just before the mainsail crosses over the center line, I'll release the other backstay, which is presently the windward backstay. Well, now it's the leeward backstay. And let your mainsail back out. Adjust your headsail. Maybe put a preventer on the main, and job is done. There's Coffin Island. Because if you look at the aerial view, it just kind of it's kind of a big square. It just kind of looks like a coffin sitting in the ocean. And we still got nice sailing out here. It's brisk as forecast. Winter trade winds. It's pretty solid 20 knots here. And you can anchor behind Coffin Island there. Well, there's a place kind of, I guess there's a beach you can sort of get in there and drop a hook. It's a lunch stop, but I don't want to stop because if I stop, there's a chance I won't get into Gilligan's Island until after dark, and I don't want to go in there after dark. I want to get in the daytime. Just heading downwind into a surf line always gets the adrenaline going. Luckily, though, the breakers are where I'm seeing breakers are consistent with my chart plotter. Nonetheless, I'm the proverbial cat on a hot tin roof here. This entrance is making me a bit nervous. But I can see the surf line, and as I'm rounding my way in, the water's getting nice and flat. As I make my way into the anchorage at Gilligan's Island.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. The mate was a mighty sailing man, the skipper brave and sure. 5 passengers set sail that day for a 3-hour tour. A 3-hour tour.
So naturally I have to tack up into the anchorage. It's broad and wide, but there are shoal spots, and it does get quite shallow as you work your way up toward the eastern shore. So I took the staysail off of her, and I'm just going to sail slowly under the double reef main.
The movie star, the professor and Mary Ann, here on Gilligan Time.
So one other boat joined us yesterday here in Gilligan's Island. Still no sign of Ginger or Mary Ann though. I wanted to stay another day, but because the trade winds are forecast to come more northeast, that means for the next several days I'll be in the lee of Puerto Rico. And what that's going to mean is generally just a lot of light and variable winds. So it's going to be kind of just going to be dealing, well, according to the weather models, just dealing with fickle winds to get around to Boqueron and then Puerto Real, where I intend to take off for the Bahamas. There's Cabo Rojo. Puerto Rico is just a beautiful island. And look at the mountains in the background. It's just gorgeous. And the nice aquamarine colored water. That's because we're starting to come up on the shoal now. Well, after a pleasant stay in Boqueron, I'm eager to get around the corner to Puerto Real, where I hope to provision for the trip to the Bahamas. Got some nice pleasant sailing today. Or so it would seem. I get around the corner and the wind gets up to 20 knots. And she's a bit over canvassed here, so I'm just fisherman's reefing and hanging on until I get there, since I don't have far to go. Gotta go old school here. All I got is this sketch chart to get into Puerto Real. I have opened CPN, but it's not a detailed chart. NOAA doesn't have a detailed chart for this harbor. So I'm just gonna have to do it the old way here. Pilot our way in with the sketch chart. Luckily there's 3 sets of red-green buoys to get me through the narrow part, so that's good. There's the first green marker. There's the next one, so it looks like we should be able to, with these markers, they're none too big. You can see a red. I don't know where the other red is though, so I'll just keep the greens on my port. Well, haven't hit anything yet. There's supposed to be 3 sets of red and green, but it looks like there's just 2 greens and a red. So we're down to 50% capacity here on navigational markers. But it looks fairly wide. There's just a couple of shallow 5-foot spots in the middle of the harbor we got to watch out for. So I assume there could be some discoloration in the water. So, new port. First order of business is to figure out where I can land my dinghy. See if the marina has a dinghy dock. And then just figure out what their deal is, whether they sell a facilities pass or you have to be in the marina to use the facilities and so on. So the reviews say that this marina is pretty friendly, so hopefully that's true. Usually first point of contact is the fuel dock here. I don't see anybody at the fuel dock. It just all looks like a wall. Alright, I'm just going to try the floating dock here. Alright, let's see if we can go find the office here. Alright, so I see where the dinghy dock is. And it's $3.50 a day to use the water taps. So I'll wait till I need water and then come in and fill up. So that's a pretty reasonable deal. And then it's about $30 a day to rent a car. I'm going to need to buy insurance. It'll probably be about $50 a day, that's par for the course. And I can use that to do a provisioning run before heading off to the Bahamas. Yes, you heard that right. The marina has rental cars. Almost an hour to do the paperwork to rent this car, but apart from that, it's quite convenient since they rent the car straight out of the marina. I guess the problem was they rent these cars from Target. I gather the same as the Target department store, and the people at corporate there were taking their time. I'm going to get to the T-Mobile store to see if I can get my new phone working, as I've been having issues with charging my current phone.
Head southwest, then continue straight.
Going against the arrows here. Hate driving in parking lots. So, a successful day.
50 meters, turn right onto Avenida Alfonso Valdez, Comia, Puerto Rico 2R.
Ah, feels good that air conditioning's kicking in. Woo! So far today, well, today was successful. My first trip was to T-Mobile. My present phone is working. However, I've been having trouble getting it to charge, and I think it's just water got into the little USB port. There's probably some corrosion in there, and it still charges. It still works fine, but when I put the cable in, I got to wiggle it a bit. And it's not the cable. I've tried several cables, and it's the socket. So I'm pretty sure that's a hardware problem. And so my fear is that the phone is just gonna stop charging at some point and then just die. So I bought an unlocked phone off Amazon and swapped the SIM card.
Take the next.
But it wouldn't take the SIM card. And so the first thing I did was I went to one of the T-Mobile stores. Luckily they had somebody there who spoke English. And they tried it and could not get the SIM card. It just kept saying SIM card not allowed. So apparently that phone I bought was locked, or at least it will not take a T-Mobile SIM card. So then I thought about it a bit, and then I went to the other T-Mobile place in Mayaguez and just bought a new phone. And this time I got a nice case for it, and also the tempered glass covered, because that's the other thing. My old phone the screen is cracked. And this was a Galaxy A13, so it was $250. But by the time they put the case and all the bells and whistles, it was about $350. So ka-ching on that. But at least I got a phone I'm confident is not going to die on me, because this is the node point of all my communications. I use the hotspot on the phone, so I have the plan with 100 gigs of hotspot data, and that's what I use to upload these videos. And so all my communication is through my phone. And then I just went to Pueblo, so that's where I did my big provisioning. And so the trunk there is full of groceries, which I want to get back to the boat as soon as possible.
Your destination is on the left.
That gate's still open. Consider supporting this channel by becoming a patron. As a patron, you will be able to view my videos free of ads. You will also be able to leave comments, ask questions, and message me directly. You can become a patron for as little as $5 a month.